good day wherever you are. This is the place where we talk about French, phonetics, grammar, literature. We review books. We use English and French simultaneously. This particular video is targeted at those in 200 level basically, but every other person can benefit from it. So let's dive into it now. We are dealing with what's a very important aspect of French language, très important dans la langue française, because it's what helps us to actually communicate very well in French. Now, the topic before us is introduction à la phonétique, et la phonologie. So we're going to talk about phonetic in French, and then it's very, very key. Now, what are you supposed to know at the end of this video? At least you're going to know what phonetics is generally, to be able to understand the characteristics of phonetics in French, then various types, we have listed them. Now, going forward, let's talk about what is phonetics, is to ask, and what's the difference between phonetics and phonology. These are two key things that are very important. Now, in my slide already, as you can see on your screen, we say la phonétique et la phonologie sont deux branches de l'étude de son dans une langue, mais elles se concentrent sur des aspects différents. There are two branches of in a language study, but the concentration is actually different in what they consider done. And now for phonetic, on parle des aspects physiques. We're talking about the physical aspect. Now, basically, what to note about phonetics is that what about la production, transmission, and then perception des sons. That is what phonetics is all about, basically. Now, apart from knowing the meaning of phonetics, what are the characteristics? If you paid attention, you discover that from our definition, three key things were prominent. We'll talk about phonetics, talk about la perception des sons, la production des sons, et la transmission des sons. Now, the very first thing now I want to talk about now is called les caractéristiques articulatoires. La production. Là, on parle de la production des sons. How sounds are produced in French, how phonemes are produced with the organs of speech, avec les organes de la parole. Now, we pick the sound now, that's the sound P. Now, when I pronounce the sound P, let me use a word now to make it easier. Let's say pom, papa. You know that my two lips, they come together, the hair is blocked, and then there's an explosion. Now, my friend will say, les deux lèvres se ferment brièvement, et puis il y a une forme de la libération, une explosion de l'air. That's how the sound comes out. It's actually something that is very physical. You can take note of it. The next thing you should know about is la caractéristique, les caractéristiques acoustiques. Now, we're talking about comment les sons se propagent en français par rapport à la vibration des cordes vocales. On va talk about sonorité, sud, or you say voisin, non voisin. Now, let's pick the same sound we just used, P, as in papa. Now, at the level of phonetics, you're going to discover that P is an occlusive sound. I'm going to talk about that very briefly. But there's not like a vibration in my vocal cord. But when I say bonjour, there is a vibration. You can take that by yourself and practice. There's a vibration in my vocal cord. And so we saw that generally phonetics s'intéresse in what we call les caractéristiques physiques. We're talking about the intensity, the duration, the frequency. And there are key things we look at in phonetics. We have some key things we want to note now. We have what we call l'occlusive. Now, these are sounds that when they are realized, a sound is said to be occlusive if there is what we call an explosion of air. Pomme, papa, pauvre, poivre. That peanut is an explosion. Bonjour, banane, there's an explosion there. Now, we have this, we call them the fricative. These are the fricative sound. Or some people call it constrictive, fricative or constrictive, the same thing. We're going to see more of that later. Now we have femme, frère, the air escapes. Then we have for S. I'll do that in another video where I analyze the sounds. Now the air also escapes, like in savoir, selon, leçon. So the air is escaping. Now the next thing about the characteristic acoustic of phonetics, about la nasalité et l'oralité. Now a sound is said to be nasal. I'm going to close my nose now and pronounce this word. But we have pub, père, 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 père. I pronounce that père, meaning father, very well, even with my nose closed. But I can't do that if I'm pronouncing something that has to do with M, for example. M like this. That's a nasal sound. Or N. That's a nasal sound. Or N in French. These are nasal sound. Or the borrowed English word ing. I can't pronounce those things closing my nose, because for that to be real, those sounds to be realized, I need the aid of my nasal cavity. La cavité nasale est là, donc on prononce les sons. So, généralement, si on prononce des sons en français avec la cavité nasale et la cavité buccale, the mouth and the nursery, ce son, on se réfère à ce son comme des sons nasal. They are nasal sounds. Now, the next thing you want to look at, what we call les caractéristiques acoustiques de la phonétique. We are talking about it's what we call liquid or lateral, and it just wants like that in French. That's l. So, and then it's put at the mat also, like lumière, le son, lumière, le son. You see the fricative sound. We'll deal with that later in another video very soon. I just hope if you have not subscribed by now, please you should have subscribed so that you can get notification. It's very, very important. Now, talking about phonetics also, let's distinguish between phonetics and phonology very briefly before we come to the end of this video. And I will say phonetics has to do with la transmission, la perception des sons. Very good. Now, what are phonology? Now, whereas la phonétique s'occupe avec les caractéristiques physiques des sons, la phonologie se concerne avec les rôles abstraits des sons. That is the role of sounds. That is l'organisation des sons, the organization of phonetic sounds. That's what phonology is all about. Now let's take, for example, I have on the slide here, we have something like okay, let me say bateau here. We have bateau. Remember, phonology is with the rules, les règles qui distinguent les sons et qui nous donnent les sens des mots, les sens des sons. Now, if you say pato, it means nothing generally. But whereas the real word is bateau, which is for a boat. Now, you see, phonology deals with the rules that govern the combination of these sounds to produce words that give us meaning. And so, if there is a mistake by, okay, let's say, peut-être, quelqu'un est en train de parler, mais là, il a mélangé les deux. Au lieu de dire P, il a dit B. Le sens va changer. The meaning is going to change. Donc, la phonétique s'occupe avec ces règles qui guident cela. So that's what phonetics deals with. Now, there's another one. We have the phoneme S and Z. Now, generally in French phonetics, we have S, letter X, in between two vowels. It changes in the realization. It becomes Z. It leaves what we call from the constitutive sound. It becomes an occlusive sound. So let's take, for example, like I have les amis. Originally, this is S is not realized, but it's what we call liaison at this level, and then liaison makes this X to become Z. So it is phonology that talks about stuff like this and that give us all those rules. So it's very important we note that. Now, as we end this video in less than a minute or so, let's look at something else very important. Now, the distinction between phonology and phonetics. Now, from the explanation so far in the last 9 minutes or so, voilà que la phonétique se concentre sur l'aspect physique et acoustique des sons, tandis que la phonologie examine leur rôle dans la structure et la fonction d'une langue spécifique. So, whereas la phonologie s'occupe avec l'aspect physique, c'est-à-dire la manière de transmettre les sons, de produire les sons, la phonologie se concerne avec les rôles des sons, the role of these particular sounds. Now, let's another distinction. La phonologie est le plus axée et le quasi physique. We have said that already. But finally, look at, for example, now the sound P and B once again. You know that the rule differ. Phonology deals with the difference between these two sounds, the rules of these two sounds in meaning realization. And so we're going to stop the video here. I'll see you in the next video, and we're dealing with what we call les alphabets phonétiques internationaux. All the sounds. You don't want to miss that. Wow.